somebody for the night. You call, I'll be on my way. Hard to love me when you got nothing to chase. She just wants somebody for the night. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me up. Yeah. Hey, run it up, I'm over. Hey, none of y'all niggas they poppin'. Yeah, I know you do this often. Hey, I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. Hey, I'ma swallow all my pride. Hey, won't be nothing but a side piece. Oh. Catching feelings with my pipe dream. Oh no. Sighting, she be feeling type of ways. I don't need nobody for the day. I just need somebody for the night. Hey, been there and I never been the same. Been there but I'm not the one to blame. I just need somebody for the night. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me up. Yeah. Hey, run it up, I'm over. Hey, none of y'all niggas they poppin'. Yeah, I know you do this often. Hey, I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. Hey, I'ma swallow all my pride. Hey, won't be nothing but a side piece. Oh. Catching feelings with my pipe dream. Oh no. Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping what I saw, so for sure. But no, that's just for me and my boss. Keep secure, 4x4, G63 box on my hands. I'm no friend. Pay for keys, can't pay for checking me. In the back when the windows tint. Yeah, cause they know tonight. Yeah, they know tonight. Tryna come take on me. And my 40 they on me. They ain't even thought this far. They never crossed your way. Just like I know. Made room for you. You and me, I forgot. You had no place to trust. Just like you told.
Morning Discord, morning YouTube, let's get into it.
Is it me or no? 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 They don't even know me. Now they feeling different when the money so fast. I got lace low key. Shawty keep it down, I'ma be right back. I don't switch mode, yeah. Only switch names in sports, that's fact. I ain't paying notice. like me. Some days that your money won't reach, then she gave no love for me. Oh, yeah, you know they won't play like me. Some days that your money won't reach, then she moves so sexually. Is it me or no? 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 Gotta keep them pockets greased up, can't slip. Gotta get my mama's new whip, new crib. Tell your shawty listen from the city, from the sticks. And no matter where I throw it, yeah, she know it's gon' stick. Shawty isn't me, no babe. Shawty isn't me, no, yeah. Is it me or no? Is it me or no? Is it me or no? Is it me or no?
Okay, let's see what we got going on right now. Again, all-time highs. 641.48.
Let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. All the greed and the lust, cause you want a piece of the pie, all that shit is bleeding me dry, I don't want your piece in the rest, hold it down for me, these I like bitches all the time. These days I ain't even gon' lie, don't let me down. I've been throwing these hundreds on a dime. Spent 7 on that, bring no wedding vows. All that smoking made me tired. 22's a call it Tyra and Mariah. Talk about my lows and all my highs. Been trying to see the light, this shit is quiet. All the greed and the lust, cause you want a piece of the pie, all that shit is bleeding me dry, I don't want your piece in the rest, Girl, I'm in your city. Know you heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. Yeah, she want a Louis and a VV. Riding around the city. Know you heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. Yeah, they ain't never get it with a dog like me. How we got cheddar singing dog right me. Gotta keep it settled, gotta keep it low key. Money like me, money like. Bitch, I'm in the city with a coke fiends. How they talking money when the money don't speak? Money in his knee, but like it came from the street. Shawty in Vienna, gotta get it with me. Shawty know, gotta know, only know I'm like that. Set, straight back to the crib, switch cars, I'm right back. Left, and you know that it can't. I didn't know we left. No, when I move, when you left, yeah. Shawty won't slide, tryna know me. I can never get it too close, me. Cause she heard I got it on me, yeah. Couldn't pull it up like me, shit. Now she tryna load up my phone, shit, I'm in the booth going ghost, Now they heard I got it on me, yeah. Now they hear I got it on me, yeah.
Fresh out the scene, bitch, I'm the best out the scene. Bulletproof if you know what I mean. Lately I just been questioning things. How you wanna stay with me for nights? Baby, I just wanna treat you right. Yeah, I'm thinking late through the night. And baby, you can stay if you like. Ain't no stress in this stretch legs. Baby, know I'm different. Hit my text when you downstairs. You know that I'm different than your ex. Stress less. That's my problem now. You got me thinking about you every time I'm not around.
Shawty won't slide, tryna know me. I can never get it too close, me. Cause she heard I got it on me, yeah. Couldn't pull it up like me, shit. Now she tryna load up my phone, shit, I'm in the booth going ghost, Now they heard I got it on me, yeah. Now they hear I got it on me, yeah. with G6 this baby shit for me. 100,000, couple M's don't make a G. Pass me in my bag and put that 40 right on my leg. Yeah, know it's how it day. Yeah, shawty, wish you stay. I'm about to cut up 25 for my name. I told him my selling is a move it to the bank. Yeah, and you know they're tryna lay down with the man. Way out on the man. Right now I'm on the man. Say that she love me, Christy and they owe me. This is how she did, yeah, she did. Yeah.
Okay, so here's some quick analysis. So we see that there's going to be some liquidity built up inside of this pink range that this pink range right here. So I'm interested to know what happens in this pink range. These whites are just key levels. The pinks are a range that I put that the market might want to stay in. So let's look out for this range here, first of all, in this pink. And, you know, we expected all-time highs were overnight, or this morning, pre-market and overnight. So expect some profit taking, right? So people are going to take some profits, the market's going to settle out, and then we'll see the direction after they take their profits. So if we start to get below 37.14 over here, look at all this liquidity that's built up here. If we get below this, it's probably a good indication. So we want to go level by level and take out liquidity. So if we want to go long from this point here, we have to take out this liquidity right here. Meaning we have to go the opposite direction of where we're going now. Okay? And then to the downside, we need to go level by level. So we need to start taking out this area right here. So yeah, there's the areas we need to take out. Otherwise we're just in this range and we need to take out that liquidity. So you're in the range stuck between this and this, which is pretty much the pink. See the pink? All right, let's get back into it. So if you want confirmation, because you know this liquidity has to be taken out, you know, you got to expect a little pullback at least until green. So you still have all this green you have to worry about, that it could go back up here. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Oof. Okay. So we broke pink. Okay, broke pink. Oh, I didn't highlight this magenta. Damn it. Sorry. But I put the pink here as the range. So short here, obviously. All right, good. And remember, because we have this entire range of green to still work inside. So this is a pretty big stop loss, right? But this is the name of the game. Is the target going to be the 5? Maybe. Let's see if we get underneath the 5. All right, let's see the retest of the pink. See, look, we're trying to take out this liquidity here. See the liquidity on the left from pre-market, or sorry, after hours yesterday? We're taking out all this liquidity. And in order to, you see how the liquidity, it's not a straight arrow down, right? There's some dancing in here. And look at the range of the dance. You see the range of the dance? Expect something equivalent over here, right? So look, look at my dotted lines. Top of the range, pretty similar over here. bottom of the range, pretty similar. So we'll match this up over here. Like that. See the liquidity over here, liquidity over here. Do you see how it jumps up and down before it finally makes a move? So expect to jump up and down in here before it makes a move. So when you're setting your stops and you're chasing it too closely, you're not allowing for the full movement to go. Because you know, it has to go through all of this to settle out all the orders. Buy, sells, buy, sells. Okay, here's your shares, here's your shares, here's your money. Now we can continue. So you have to take out all the liquidity, allow the system to do its thing, distribute before the continuation. So we're still on the break of this magenta. So if you want to go short, you want to wait for a break in magenta, where probably forming another one underneath this liquidity level. If you didn't catch this one, right, this one right here that we just passed, then your next target, oh, this is pretty, actually it's right here. So this from here to here is actually a lot of liquidity built up. See this and this, where my mouse is, a lot of liquidity built up. So another reason why I have this highlighted thick white line, this key level, because look at all this liquidity. If we break below this, then it's you know, your chances are higher that you're gonna target the 5. So this is a little sketchy in here because you see you have a large level of liquidity right here, and at pretty much the same level. So support, resistance, which becomes support, resistance, right? Support, resistance, lower high, higher high, higher high, or higher low, higher high. So this is the uptrend. So we need to take out these levels. There's obviously going to be another big range here, because it, you know, it looks like it's going to be choppy in here. So we had a break of the key level, a retest of the key level, and rejection of the key level. Another indication of where the momentum's going, right? So you had this key level, it broke, it retested, and it rejected. Another indication of where momentum is heading, right? So if you know to get out, let's say you went in on the break of this magenta, you'll know to get out when you get back inside the magenta, right? Because technically this movement, and when I'm saying movement, I mean the range of this green algo, right? So technically the movement is this entire green. This is why I have this jagged path here. This entire green is technically your stop loss, right? The top is your stop loss. So you have to learn how to start trading like this to fully get your profits, or else you're never going to realize your profits. You'll pretty much, it's going to be very difficult, unless you're like really good at scalping, to make any to make any money, because you're constantly getting chopped up in your own movement. You're constantly getting chopped up inside your own play. So what I recommend is, if you're having a hard time holding for that length of time to allow winners to win, get a lower delta, because the price goes slower, therefore your risk is less, and then you'll learn how to have the patience. All right, let me clean up the chart just a bit. A little bit of early morning teachings. I'm gonna clean up the chart. We see what's happening. We understand now that there's levels of liquidity, and you'll know the direction once you start making higher highs or higher lows, whichever one.
You gotta stay off that. Embrace the fact I won't brace myself for no downfall. No, they pray on that. If loving you will make me crazy, girl, then giving up on you will make a psychopath. I'm on my way. I wait out back. Shawty, is she worried if I might show? Damn, it's hard to care for a side though. Out here with my mans in a night show. Drinking party, yeah, we keep the lights low. I'm in my mind all the way. Ice cold, what a nigga gotta say now. Sipping honey, we be mobbing through the night, though, yeah. Moving like we trapping out of Vando.
Okay, now remember this green range, the range meaning from the top to the bottom, bottom to top, this distance in this green, remember, you still have all this for your movement. This is your full movement. So, what that means is, your stops just need to be priced appropriately. And when you see this other shoulder possibly forming, you'll know what your key. See, look how it bounced perfectly off this pink, perfectly off pink. So you have an idea of where maybe the orders are, right? And let's say it stays inside the green, then it'll look more like this. So just be a little bit patient. All right, see, it's happening right now. We're gonna go through it together. Is everyone here? All right, yeah, we're gonna go through it together. Watch. You see right here, liquidity is building up. You see the liquidity built up? Right here. Okay. So if this wants to do this thing to break out, number one, essentially we like to see this like this, boom, like that. Right, so this cup and handle, you see that there's also a head and shoulders inside. There's always a structure within a structure. So then, let's say we break above this green. That doesn't mean you instantly go in on green. That means you have to wait till we take out the liquidity. You see it right here, which would be this flexion point on your handle.
I don't need nobody for the day. I just need somebody for the night. Been there and I never been the same. Been there but I'm not the one to blame. I just need somebody for the night. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me.
All right, Sonny. Lesson 1 on MACD. Do you see how when the MACD crossed, so your MACD line is going to be the orange line here, and your signal line is going to be the blue line? You see when the blue line goes above the orange line, technically that's your bull cycle or your uptrend. Okay? You can't rely on it, but you know, this is a trading strategy. Okay, like I said, look. Remember I said liquidity here, we got to take it out. Here's the takeout. You see how, let me clean it up just a bit. How the price, remember, you have to remember that a pullback is good, because that gives you the strength, right? So you broke, pulled back with this red, and then broke out. Boom. Easy claps. Now we're about to close the cup, right? So we close the cup. So expect, if there's going to be continuation, what does a continuation look like? Watch. Hold on. We all know what continuation is. It's the bolt, right? So we want to see boom, 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 which would be the handle. It's always a structure within a structure. So, let's see. How many of us are? Okay, we got our little family right here. Look, break a pink, quick scalp. Fine. That's what you got. That's what you got. This might actually have stopped you out, depending if you took profit. And then what was it? And then this head and shoulders right here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have plenty of time for this one. And remember, I said just because we broke the green, it's still going to be a little dance right here, right? It doesn't have to be this dramatic. It doesn't have to look like this. This would be ideal. But it doesn't have to be this dramatic. Yeah. So look, if this wants to head up, we're starting the continuation pattern. Maybe, right? We need to start heading, maybe forming another green for continuation. Because you see the range in these things. It's not just candle by candle. There's a range. There's a whole movement. So now we're inside this magenta movement, this range. Now we're inside this one. You see that there's liquidity built up in this movement here. Anyways, Sonny, like I was saying, Lee, sorry, like I was saying, so the same could be said on the other side. So you see, basically, you got a cross here, starting your bull cycle. So, you know, your take profit, if you're doing this strategy, should be when the orange crosses your blue again, or at the peak. Whenever this blue starts to peak at the top, and you start to see it head down, that may be a good idea. But you see your MACD line is above your zero line, so this just gave us strength for continuation. So now you got to be patient here. But I'm just giving you an overall kind of general idea of how to use MACD. There's a lot more to it. I'm going to go into it with you on Saturday. I'm showing you this so we can understand the exercise, the patience we need to learn how to exercise. Okay, so this cup from the morning or from opening, close, cup, handle, up. And then now we're going to look for this cup right here, right? The bigger cup. So we knocked out that liquidity.
All the time these days, I ain't even gonna lie, don't let me down. I've been throwing these hundreds on a dime. Spent 7 on that ring, no wedding vows. All that smoking made me tired. 22's a call it Tyra and Mariah. Talk about my lows and all my highs. Been trying to see the light, this shit is quiet. All the greed and the lust. If you want a piece of the pie. All that shit is bleeding me dry. I don't want your piece in the west. Heard about it, let me get it on. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. Louis and a VV.
Yeah, this is a perfect V-shape recovery. Perfect V-shape. Look at that V. Little bit of stutter on the shoulder, just to make it valid. Remember, we're still inside the magenta movement. We're still inside this movement. Okay, so let's see the other options if there's downside, because there's always 2 scenarios, or 3 because it can go sideways. Your other option here is if we make this a shoulder and then a head and then another shoulder. So let's look for a break, a retest, and a reject underneath 638.93 for if it wants to head down. But here's the thing, until we take out this liquidity, or even this one down here, until we take out these little spots, you're still inside of this magenta now. And look, see how we're building up liquidity here? So then at some point, whenever you see the price start to fade up or what is it? Taper to the upside, then you have an idea when your handle has formed and you gain the strength to push up for another push up. And then
Say she adore me, Christy in the origin. Fuck with me some more. Baby, 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 ain't more time for you. All the love them back and back, the money too. Yeah, when money come to storms, I just stick and move. No way, I'm spending on my way back. Yeah, since we young as we was dreaming about a Maybach. Yeah, I'm looking for my 41 days now. She said that she love me, Christy in the army. This is how she think, yeah, she think. Yeah, say she adore me, Christy in the origin. Fuck with me some more.
All right, Sonny, do you see how now that the MACD, the lines are about to cross, it might be a good idea to take your profit? Maybe, but I'll explain a little bit more, but this is just step one. Might be a good idea to take profit here, right? Do you see the amount of time it took for this full movement to go? From 46 to, so 15, 20 minutes? So if you're not holding for 20 minutes on these movements, don't expect any, yeah, if you're not holding within these ranges I'm giving you, nothing you can do. And again, normally if we see, oh, we break this, we have to break the liquidity levels. So you see the liquidity being built up right here. So once the levels break, so try not to focus on individual price points. Look at the, just as giving you an idea for just to how to hold longer to let your winners win, or to confirm whether this is a good move or not. You need to take out liquidity levels, and essentially, look, we're still stuck in this pink range, right? Yeah, a little fake out right here. But we're still stuck in this pink range. You see it? The thin pink and thin pink. Easy. Once you understand liquidity levels, then I mean, so this we let go because early morning candles. We're gonna let the market settle out so we can get our algos. However, I'm just giving you an understanding of length of time we need to hold these trades, and the amount of patience or the amount of guts, essentially balls, we need to have, because you have wide ranges of stops that you need to have, right, in your full movement from top to bottom. So if you're feeling uncomfortable with this type of stuff, try a lower delta or paper trade and hold it and see if it works, or see, learn your own style, what you're comfortable with. All right, Sonny, so there's going to be continuation you want to look for. I don't know. Let's see. Looking for continuation. We know what continuation looks like, right? It has to look like a bolt. And the bolt isn't going to be a perfectly straight line that you see me drawing, right? The bolt has to be, again, I went over this yesterday, but I think it's a very important concept to really tighten down in your mind, because you now have a better expectation of what you have an expectation. You have a range to deal with now, as opposed to individual pennies. Look at the range to get, okay, look what we have happening. See? Look what we have happening. So you're still in the, look, between pink and white. Look at this liquidity level. Do you see how it automatically filled it in itself? So we can identify exactly where liquidity is. And we got a pretty strong uptrend, right? Over the past couple of days. Why do you want to fight the trend? Why do you want to fight the trend? Go with the flow. Let's look at 30-minute chart. Don't fight the trend. We'll know when the trend breaks. Yeah, see, we want to get underneath 30 at minimum. This is just what I did really quick. 37.96, this thick white line. But your best bet is underneath the 5. Because look at all the liquidity built up at the 5. Look at all this beautiful liquidity built up at the 5 right here. So wait for the 5 before you go short. We should be looking for long entries. Why? Because we're in an uptrend. So you look for your long entries. How do we know what the long entries are? Easy. Whenever you took out liquidity and passed it, right? You broke liquidity on the downside and then you passed it going back up. So I have 39.90 and 38.60 as key levels on my 1 minute. 38, 39, 60. Okay, so somewhere in here is our 30 minute. So let's say you took the trade down here and now you're here, whatever. Let's say you're just starting off the day. You know exactly where liquidity is now. You know what needs to happen if it's going to go up. Right? There's always going to be a little pullback before the up. But then again, we're at all-time highs, so people want to take profit. And we don't know when a whale's going to say, you know what, all-time highs, I'm taking profit. I want to buy a boat. We don't know when that's going to happen. So none of these are set in stone, but we have rules of thumb. Still in this range, this little tiny range between pink and white. There's no trade here. You can't trade here. You don't know what's going to happen. We're in the middle of the water. We are in an uptrend. So the idea is that we're just building liquidity, and that this is going to give us enough strength to take out back up to all-time high. That's what the thesis is. So we'll see. We need to see which way it goes, right? If we go below 38.93, this key level here, then, you know, this shoulder's looking more shouldery, like that, which would coincide with the break of this magenta, the thin one. Right, because you'd have a head, shoulder, head, and then wherever this other shoulder lands, whenever it lands. And also I want to say, you know, sometimes the momentum candles fake us out, and using these guardrails, the range that I've developed here in these algos, it'll help you not get tempted to FOMO in if you're still inside that range, right? That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's look at why didn't this continue up here? Right here, let's look at what could have indicated to you that I wasn't ready yet. Simple. Look at all the wicks pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Then you literally see it fading down over here. See how it's fading down? It didn't have, we needed to get above this pink key level and start making it support like that. Never happened. You see it fading. Look, it literally fades downwards. So you're stuck in this liquidity level. There's no trade here, right? We're stuck in this range. Just wait. Be patient. Now, if you want to scalp and you know, MACD type stuff, that's on you. Yeah, I liked how it came back and retested almost the green. I like how it came back, tested this level. I like that. But we'll see. Let's let it play out. We know we have to take this liquidity out before there's any upside. So essentially it's going to be a very tiny, right? Look, watch. A very tiny cup and handle. Very tiny. There's always a structure within a structure. Which means that, all right, let's get really nerdy right now. You ready? You want to see the inception of day trading? Which means that we got a shoulder, a head, and then we want to see the other shoulder, which would still be inside the movement, right? Because it's always a structure within a structure. So if you need to get granular, like to dig in to see where the momentum's going, I get it, right? Because you can have micro head and shoulders. For example, look, shoulder, head, shoulder, down. You can have micro head and shoulders within a movement to tell you where the momentum's going, right? So if we are within one of these movements, within one of these ranges, for example, let's say right here, let's say you start to see a head form here, and then a shoulder right here, and a shoulder right here. You better believe this price is about to head down, right? Especially if it starts rejecting underneath this level right here. You better believe it's about to head down. But then, here's what you got to worry about, right? Now that, okay, let's say you've identified break of, what is this, magenta right here? Break of this magenta, you identified it. Now you have to realize, once this downtrend or short-term downtrend starts, let me just clean up the chart really quick. Okay, let's say, for example, price gets below here. Let's say we do that, right? Oh shit. Okay, once that happens, essentially what you've done is created a brand new green, right? So now you know your stops or what your possibilities are because you're in this range. Hopefully this helps you. Look how beautiful this cup and handle's playing out. Look how beautiful this cup and handle's playing out. Right? Perfect flexion point. Perfect rejection off this key level here. I decided to go off of this magenta because I knew once this magenta's broken that we have another structure. Once this magenta broke, I knew that this had happened. So that's why I put my flexion here, which means this is my fitty. Easy. Too easy, right? So I find where two flexion points meet up. That's how I know where the 50-50 is. Because there's two opposite flexion points on, because remember, it's always a structure within a structure. So one structure could be telling, like on a smaller time frame, could be telling you we're going up. But then you have a whole other structure on your larger time frame, which we should rely on the larger time frame to give us direction. That's telling you you're going down. So your best bet, wait till these liquidity levels are taken out. Just wait. Meaning, if you want to wait for the actual break of the key level. So your entry should be here. You know, we'd like to time it here, but your entry should be once you get equal with your neckline. Or your cup top, whatever you call this, gets equal. But then it's going to be the same issue going on to the upside, right? Because now you know you formed another trend. And you have all this room. You have to be willing to let the price ride out. And look, this is a good example. Even on this cup and handle, look how much. This isn't. Hold on, give me a second. Look how wide the movement is on this. If this handle forms, look how wide the movement is. And then let's say you get in on this. Excuse me. You want to go long here. Let's say you think you see momentum pushing up this way. You want to go long. Your stop needs to be at the last. Or you want to buy a call because you want the price to go up. You think it's going to go up. Your stop should be at the lowest low here, which means your break of this magenta should be your out. If you're going up here, if you're using this flexion point. The only way you'll know if all this liquidity gets taken out is when we get above the liquidity. That's the only way you'll know. And you may think like, oh no, I'm late on the move. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time you've been, oh no, I'm late on the move, you weren't late on the move. You hesitated on the move, right? You saw one candle go by and you're like, you know what? Last time I went in, I got stopped out. Why? Because the retracement from being within a range, right? You still have all this range. So a lot of times we get stopped out because we're not adjusting for the range. And remember, this yellow I randomly just put here, I don't know if this is a yellow algo, right? I need to find out. We still need to take out this liquidity. So we don't know yet if anything's formed because we haven't taken out the liquidity. But what I do, look at this. Look at this. Look, you see how it's pointing down? Look at that. Boom. Break a magenta. Oh, it's too easy. It's actually too easy. But look, you're in the green, so you have to hold for the green. You have to be comfortable with holding for this if this is your thesis, right? Or if you want more confirmation, wait till we actually close the cup. Just wait till we close the cup because we're still in this range, right? We're still in this range. To not get chopped up in this range, wait till we break the range. But at least this is giving you an idea of direction. For the short term, right? This little tiny move. You're still in this range. Don't get it twisted. You're still inside this range. You have to be able to zoom out. Okay, be patient. There's another algo that's about to form. I feel it. So once it does form, I'll have a better, I think I can get a better than magenta. We'll see. It might be, it still might be magenta, but we'll see. What I'm saying is there might be a better entry for a put, right? Which would be perfect. If we had a magenta at this pink key level and we broke this pink key level, that'll be great. That would be great. Because now you definitely know where the momentum is. Look, stuck in a range. If we get down here, come on now. So wait till we make 38, 36, some type of resistance. Otherwise, you're stuck in a range. Wait until we make 639, 68, some type of support. So you're not chopped up in the range. Unless you want to scalp like this. Unless you want to do this MACD type scalping or EMA scalp, whatever strategy you want to use, fine. But if you just want to like way less hectic trading and you just want to and you kind of get it in your head and you're willing to hold longer, and I suggest you take a lower delta, try the strategy out. Do paper trade, take lower deltas, try the strategy out. Meaning exercise your patience, try to use the MACD to your advantage, right? So let's say we get down here and we're starting a bear cycle here. If we're starting a bear cycle here, so we're currently in the bear cycle, we're about to end it, but if we're starting it here, what do you think is going to happen? That would be perfect. That would be confluence between our thesis. What's the thesis? Is that confluence, meaning things are coming together to make your thesis correct. 38, 36, and the break of this magenta, another confluence, right? So when you get multiple reasons telling you that, so number one, I'm starting my bear cycle, so I can probably get some cash out of this. Number two, I'm breaking my resistance, or I'm breaking my support level. Number three, I'm breaking an algorithm trend line. Right? And then you use some little technical analysis, use your candle analysis to determine if you have a 4, but three measures of confluence is pretty good. Right? You got multiple things telling you safe trade. The only thing holding you back is your ability to stomach this. Your ability to stomach this is what you need to understand. This is the hard part, because we get upset if we lose a damn dollar. It hurts bad on another level. It just hurts. But you're not willing to do what it takes to not lose the dollar, right? So that's a paradox in your mind you need to figure out. And hopefully this explains it. Look, this is absolutely perfect. I want to see. Hopefully, Sonny, are you listening? I need you to give me some responses. Tell me if you're listening. Okay, got it. Look at this. Look how perfect all this worked out. Keep in mind this is on a smaller time scale, but look at the liquidity level right here. Boom. Right here. You see the liquidity? Look at what's happening right here. It's the same level. So when you start breaking this, you know you took out the liquidity level. Look, the liquidity level's been taken out. You're still in your green. Remember I told you? Look. I told you. Once this magenta breaks, look. Break a magenta. I said you still have to be able to hold for green. Look what it did immediately. It broke magenta, went right back in immediately, which it normally does. This is how we get stopped out. And then what? Continued. And then it continued. You took out the liquidity. You see it? The liquidity here, it got taken out. Oh, almost got taken out. Really close to getting taken out, but you're still in your downtrend. So you're not out of this play until you break green. Because you see you're in green. Come on now. This is too simple. Too simple. Which would also mean what? That there's probably, if we break green, to me, that means there's a larger cup and handle at play. Why do I say that? Watch. Because there's always a structure within a structure, number one. Let me clean it up a bit. Actually, you know what? Technically, this still fits. This right here still fits. Hold on, I drew that a little messed up. I think it still fits. Cup. Yeah, that still works. That still works. Again, we're still in this green, right? Just because you see that now, because we're still in the range. I'm talking about if we're not in this range, right? Because we're in this range, this shit doesn't really apply. I'm giving you general rules of thumb. I'm trying to teach risk to reward and risk management. This is what this is risk management right here. Now look, we're below the zero line. The zero line is the flip point for your MACD. We're below this line. Now we're confirmed downtrend. When this breaks, maybe the downtrend's gonna break. We might have a weak bull cycle. So a bull cycle is supposed to go up like this green. If it's below the zero line, a weak bull cycle, the blue line will never get above the zero line. You'll see what I mean. We're gonna go over it on Saturday. I'm gonna show you what a continuation pattern looks like using the MACD. Continuation meaning a bolt in whatever direction, up or down. But look, still inside the green. Still inside the green. So this is why MACD or indicators can fool people, right? Because this MACD is saying it's about to go up, at least on the 1 minute time frame. Let's look at the 5 minute. What does a 5 minute say? 5 minute MACD says it got some room for the up, but we're still below water. So sideways. This is sideways chop. When your MACD is below the zero line and your signal line is above, technically you're on an uptrend if the signal line's above, but you may be fighting out of your downtrend. So we gotta wait until we get above zero line before we know we're in the uptrend. Or we could be starting our uptrend. So we get starting uptrend here, possibly. Starting uptrend here, possibly. Okay, now look at our 30 minute, still going down, right? So just be patient. So maybe on a 5 minute, 1 minute time frame, we can get some profit, but on a 30 minute, yeah. So maybe on a 1 minute time frame, maybe on a 30 minute time frame, you can still get to 39.90. Let's say 1 full point from right where we are now, and still be in a downward trajectory in a MACD. This is just a pullback in your downward MACD trajectory in your 30 minute chart. That's it. So it's still possible that we can get some movement back up to all-time high here while still being in a downtrend on your larger time frame chart. That's how that works. You're still in green, still inside the green. So as long as you're in your green, you're in your downtrend. How do you know that? Look at your signal. Look at your MACD line. Look exactly when your MACD line started the downtrend. That's when the green started, right? Exactly when the MACD line crossed below the zero, you see the liquidity build up, right? This is not an accident. This is not an accident. I've been studying this stuff for a while. Still absolutely perfect for this cup and handle. It just is. Still perfect. And you know what else is even better? Look how it bounced perfectly off the bottom of green. Perfect bounce off of green. This is yeah, looking, who knows? I don't know, but I'm just saying it's all doing what it's supposed to do. Look, top of green. Now we need to see if we're gonna break this green. If we break this green and get above this, I mean, I already told you what the entry was, right? It should be up here. If you can get it down here, even better. Technically, your entry should be up here. You're just gonna have to survive some pullback, be all right? Because the price is gonna push up. So wait for the break of green. Wait for above 639.31 because you see all this liquidity here. You gotta wait for it to break to the upside here. And until you break green, look, we're still in green. Still in green. Do you see what I'm saying? How you have to have the patience? Look, remember, we broke magenta over here, right? We're still in green. You should still, your stop should be trailing along the top of this green. Look, if you would have got stopped out here by not following exactly what we just said, if you would have got stopped out here, then what? You just took a loss for no reason because you didn't allow the green to do the job. Look at green doing work. There's no reason to leave the trade until you break green. So if you go in here on the break of this magenta, your stop loss is on green or your last high, which is actually what? The green, right? It matches perfect. If our thesis was head, shoulder, shoulder, right? If this is our thesis and you go short or you buy your put here on the break of this magenta, then your stop has to be at your last high, which is on the top of green. Come on now. And I told you, you have to hold until we break green. Look, if you would have got stopped out here in this chop, if you didn't have the strength, the courage, the balls, whatever it is, you know what it is? It's fear. We're afraid to lose that dollar. We're afraid to lose that damn dollar, right? And there's too many things telling you one way or the other. You have to just follow a strategy like 100%. You can't go halfway. You can't say, oh, I FOMO'd into that. No. You got to actually make a list. Check off everything that's important. That, you know, for your trades, and make sure you hit each one of those metrics. Now again, I don't know if this magenta is going to be here. I don't know where it's going to form. This is just something I threw up there. So yeah, if we get below this cup and handle, not going to be a thing. Yeah, it pretty much broke the structure here. So now we want to see if we have a weak bull cycle. We're about to enter the bull cycle. If we have a weak bull cycle, let's see if the bull cycle goes all the way through and still stays underneath 3890. What is it? 638.93. This key level right here, this white key level. Now if we get above it and we start making this support, then you're just stuck in your range. Look, we're just stuck in the range here, right? For today, I'm teaching based on, like, I'm trying to incorporate what if scenarios, while also trying to show the current chart. So I hope I'm not confusing anybody. But basically what I'm trying to get across is momentum and liquidity levels. The candles will show you momentum. The liquidity levels will show you where your targets are. So we have liquidity here, definitely liquidity here. Still in green, right? We broke this magenta right here. We broke this middle magenta, still in green. So if you would have taken this flexion, this shoulder that I put, perfect, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. The bull cycle never happened. See the fake out? That's why it's really hard to use MACD or indicators. Because they can tell you, oh, this should be happening next, but it, you know, the price will dictate what's going to happen next, not the indicator. All right, let's see if we make this sideways cup and handle. Let's see if we go like this, this, and this. Now, if this wants to shoot up, again, this is for scalping because we're in this range, right? We're still stuck in this range. If it wants to shoot up, you want to look for this. You got to take out the liquidity here. But we're still in green, right? So your stops are along green. We're still in green because we did the shoulder right here. Again, we are on the uptrend. Don't fight the trend. Wait until we get below the 5. Wait until we get below the 5. That's where your safety puts. Sorry, that's just what the answer is. We're in such a strong uptrend. Do you really want to fight the trend? Look at this. Look at this uptrend. Look at this. Look at this. Look at. Come on. This is asking for continuation, if you ask me. This is asking for it right here, but I'll know if we get underneath the 5. That's the answer for me. But if you want to scalp stuff like this, I'm trying to teach you the techniques to look for.
Yeah, I know you do this often. Hey, I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. Hey, I'ma swallow on my pride. Hey, won't be nothing but a side piece. Oh, oh. Catching feelings with my pipe dream. Oh, no. Sighting, she be feeling type of words. I don't need nobody for the day. I just need somebody for the night. Hey, been there and I never been the same. Yeah. Been there, but I'm not the one to blame. I just need somebody for the night. Yeah. Shawty wanna use me. Yeah. I don't need you no more. Yeah. Shawty wanna use me. Yeah. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me, yeah. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, run it up, I'm mobbing. Hey, none of y'all niggas, they poppin'. Hey, yeah, I know you do this often. Hey,
I would prefer... it's tough to say. I would prefer deeper structure, meaning I would have liked this to go a little bit higher, maybe retest the green, but you don't always get it how you want it. This might be the handle right here. But it's kind of thin structure for me. I also don't want to fight the trend. I'm just going to wait until we get below the 5. If we don't get below the 5, I'm not, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So if I miss out, I miss out. But here's my thesis. If you take the trade, that's on you. See what I was telling you? Thin structure. I'm not saying it's not going to dump, but for my entry, the structure was too thin, right? I need to see a bigger bounce up before I go in. I'm not going to buy a put at the bottom. I'm not going to do that, that's for sure. I need to see deeper structure. Okay, so on your MACD play, let's say if you took, right, it crossed up here for your down. This is your bear cycle. So your MACD play, you see how it's about to cross again? Now you exit. You exit your position here for, you know, this is just one method for MACD, right? So you enter on the cross on your call, on your bear bull cycle. You exit on the cross. You enter a put on your bear cycle. You exit your put on the cross.
Gotta keep the pockets greased up, can't slip. Gotta get my mama's new whip, new crib. Tell you shawty listen from the city, from the sticks. And no matter where I throw it, you know it's gonna stick. Shawty isn't me, no break.
Okay, you see break a key level. Look, break a key level, break of the magenta. Let's see how much it can go. Let's see if it gets to the 5. And this is what I was talking about. See, I just said for me, it's thin structure. It doesn't mean anything. And then look, right? And then look. So just goes to show you got to go with it. What's in your comfort level. I'll be comfortable under the 5. I don't want to fight a trend. But, geez. Algos don't lie. Look at that. Look at that. Amazing. And Sonny, I just want to point out before you. Exactly, yeah, we're guiding off green. Exactly. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. But I also want to point out to you that how many times did this MACD tell us that it was going to go into the bull cycle, and it just never did, right? Now that you're below the 0 line, your blue line or your signal lines pointing down, both lines are pointing down, you're still in this trade until you minimum cross. Or what you could do is also exit the trade once this MACD line, the orange line, goes back to the 0 line. That's another exit. So what you could do is do on the break of your MACD to the peak, right? Or you can go the peak to the peak. There's different ways to do MACD, but it can be, you gotta learn how to read it. You gotta learn how to read it. It's not cut and dry like you think. And we'll go over it Saturday. I'll go over a whole bunch of scenarios with you. So then once we see how we kind of broke, so it's either this, either we're testing the bottom green for a push up, or we broke the bottom green because we're starting a stronger downward trend. Right? So we might have this trend. Oh wait, hold on. That's probably just a blue. Oh, no, yeah, so it looks like it started it could be starting a stronger downward trend. All right, Sonny. So what I want you, well, what I suggest, I'm forgetting original holding MACD. Yes, exactly. MACD is just, you know, the indicators, like I always say, they can tell you that there's water in the pool, but it can't tell you if the water's hot or cold. So that's what you gotta, that's what you can do with MACD, right? We're gonna go over it. You're gonna get more comfortable. So don't try to get too far ahead of it now. We'll go over it on Saturday. Do you see how this stronger blue took over? Look how the stronger blue took over on the break of magenta, the break of the key level on. Remember, I told you we're in this range, and I told you don't mess around at minimum until we break this range. Look what happened. Look at the range I told you about. I promise you, if we look at my key level that I drew on the downside, by the way. Look at the key level highlighted. Boom. There's nothing more I can do. Look at the shoulder here, right? Look at the shoulder, head, shoulder, head, shoulder. There's nothing more I can do. And this was a safety because it actually should have been here. Look at the liquidity right here. I'm going to zoom in. This is a safety play because look, there's the liquidity. So this was your actual shoulder right here. I went even safer and did it here. And then look, once you see the momentum, you know what's going to happen. Once we start taking out these levels, you know what's going to happen. You knew not to go long until we broke above this. Because look at all the liquidity up here. Look at all the liquidity up here. So we had to at least break above this. There's no reason to go long until we break above this. Or until we find a good point for a good buy, right? Maybe a rejection of the 5. Look, see, I told you, either this is a fake out because we broke green, or we're just in a stronger, dominant, downward trend. Look what happened. Look. You never broke green. So you don't have to get out of this trade until the MACD goes above the 0 line. And look where it's going to bounce on my next key level. We had profit targets. Look, key level right here. Perfect. It's bouncing on the key level. It's bouncing on, look, bounce on key level. That means this is the bottom of this. Bruh, this is too easy. You just have to be patient. And now there's going to be continuation. You want to look for? It's here. It's somewhere here. We're still in this blue, so don't even, yeah. But the continuation, you want to look for another magenta to form. We haven't formed it yet, so give it time. I'm going to clean up the chart just a bit. All right, let's go back and review the trading plan. This is on the analysis, trade analysis. Let's see. Let's keep it simple today. We're at the all-time highs again. Expect some profit taking this morning, right? What do you think we just did? All-time highs right here, and they're taking profit. They're taking profit in the morning, which is exactly what I said. Yeah, today was straightforward. That's why I didn't do too much in the analysis this morning, because it wasn't needed. We knew we're at all-time highs. People are going to take profit. It's just going to happen. Why would you not take profit at an all-time high, right? Because you know this is going to happen. It's easy. But even if it didn't, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take the trade. Why? Because you have confluence telling you that it's reasonable. It's not unreasonable to take a trade. It's not unreasonable to see you're at support and to buy a call. And to see maybe, nah, never mind. Never mind. I mean, it's not unreasonable we're at support, buy a call for a little push, but we're in such a strong downtrend right now. Why? Why? So then the question is, are we going to do this? Let's see. Let's see if I am Nostra Goddamn Damas. Are we going to form a shoulder, a head at the 5, and another shoulder? Right? Take profit in the morning, and then continuation. Who knows? Yep. No reason to go long until... There's no reason to go long. We need to see where momentum's going. We don't have any momentum going up. So why would you go long? Because you're trying to call the bottom. We need to stop doing that. Right? Me specifically, I need to stop doing that. I'm not going to call the bottom and call the top. I will wait until liquidity tells me the direction. Yeah, Sonny, look how long you could have held this. If you'd have just strictly traded off MACD, look how long, that would have been an amazing trade, because the lines haven't crossed. Remember, they came close a couple times, but it never crossed. You get out when it crosses. Or that's profit target 1 when it crosses. There's another way you can, if we get weak cycles, you can hold on for continuation. I'll show you how to do that on Saturday. All right, we broke the support level. We broke the support. let's see if the 5 is going to be on the menu today. And then we see we had a momentum candle here to give us a little more. Yeah, it was a good trade. All right, Sonny, are you still here? You still here, Sonny? I got one more thing for you. This is a good one. All right, cool. Ready? So, oh, look at this. Sorry. You think we're going to the 5? You think we're going to the 5? Where do you think all the liquidity is? Where do you think? Oh, wait, hold on. Look at all the liquidity built up where? On the 5. I said that today, this morning. Look at the liquidity built up on the 5. Where do you think we're going? To the 5. Come on now. Come on, look at this. We missed out on so much money, Sonny. Anyway, Sonny, look. Here's what I wanted to show you. Confluence. Confluence means you have more than one thing giving you some edge, telling you what to happen. So let's look at the confluence here. We have a cross. Okay, so the MACD and the stochastic, they kind of operate similarly. The metrics that they use are different for measuring, but it's very similar. I actually really like stochastic. However, here's the confluence. When the blue line is above the red line, you're in an uptrend. Okay? When the red line crosses above the blue line in your stochastic, you should be starting your downtrend. Now, I want you to see that on the peak of your stochastic is also the peak of your bull cycle. This is good confluence to let you know we're going to have some downside coming in. And then you use your MACD, you use your stochastic and your MACD to see your entries. Look, top, top, top. So you find your entries here. 1, 2, 3 confluences here. Top, 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 top. 4. And then you hold your MACD and then you hold until it crosses again. So it crossed up here, you hold until it crosses down here. That's the full move.
Perfect, I'm hurting, babe. That make 2 of us. The way you purchase things, the service level not serving us. I gotta let you in so you interpret things the way I meant. And may I vent based off the things you post online. I can't help but think you gotta stay off that. Embrace the fact I won't brace myself for no downfall. No, they pray on that. If loving you will make me crazy, girl, then giving up on you will make a psychopath. I'm on my way. I wait out back.
All right, Sonny, I want you to paper trade and start trying to use the MACD and the stochastic. Only go in on setups that are, if you want like the more likely setups, you should only be going in on setups that have the confluences, right? So you want to see peak, 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 or at least peak, peak on the MACD. Here's an RSI down here, but use the stochastic and your MACD. Peak, peak to find the tops and then write it down. All right, so finally it looks like it's crossing now, and you see you got your stochastic pointing up and the cross. So this could have been a good entry. We'll see. Okay, look, it happened again right here. It happened right there in front of our face. You see the stochastic crossed, the blue line crossed above. and we're about to cross. This is called confluence. Your best bet, take the trade, chase it. Because you're in a downtrend, you have to chase it, right? But I'm just showing you how confluence works. Look, we're oversold. It crossed up, oversold, crossed up. This is confluence. You also have your RSI pointing up. So you know you can get something out of this. And then if you're scalping, when this stochastic, not the MACD, when the stochastic crosses again, then you take profit on your opposite trend, right? So if we're in a downtrend and you're buying a call to try to to try to get the reversal, then your best bet is to wait until the stochastic crosses again and ride out your MACD on the opposite trend. You see how, look, we just were talking about it and it happened again. Confluences. You see how we didn't have any real confluence over here? But boom, look, bottom, 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 pointing up, pointing up, pointing up, pointing up, pointing up. It's too many confluences. So now what you got to train yourself is on not hesitating, identifying the key levels. Identifying key levels, identifying hesitation points, identifying continuation, and identifying where the turnaround is going to be. Look, right on the 5. Right on the 5. So if it breaks through the 5 and the 5 becomes resistance, then I'll go short. I mean, technically I should have went short here on my shoulder that I perfectly drew, and the key level that I highlighted to tell you when to go short. I should have went short there, but you know, today I decided to do more teaching. I'll put that back. I decided to do more teaching today than trading. So that's why I'm just not focused on trading. I'm trying to teach. And I mean, damn, this is absolutely perfect. I mean, damn, doesn't get any better than this.
I don't need nobody for the day. I just need somebody for the night. Been there and I never been the same. Been there but I'm not the one to blame. I just need somebody for the night. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me up. Yeah. Run it up on Marvin. None of y'all niggas they.
Now when I'm saying risk to reward ratios, I mean, for example, risk to reward, right? So, okay, here's a key level here. We broke the key level. Where's the next level of liquidity? The 5. So your risk to reward here is, if this breaks, where's my next liquidity level? At the 5. So that's a pretty good risk to reward here, right? But let's say the 5 was right underneath this key level. Do you really want to take that trade? Do you really want to take the trade if the 5, your next level of liquidity is really close to this key level? No, that's not a good risk to reward, right? Because you know there's going to be some junk right here on the 5. But, you know, over here we have from 37 to, that's a full point. You have a full point risk to reward here. This is a good risk to reward ratio. Right? And you should be able to use the algorithm. Oh, I need to plug in my, hold on. You should be able to use the algorithms, right? you should be able to use the algorithms to show you how much slop you need to have in your trade, no matter on where it is. And you have to understand, there's going to be those times when the market decides, oh, we're going to look like one thing, and then we're going to spike to this level because an order just came in, and then stop you out, and then go down again, or whatever it is, go in the direction you thought it was going to go in. That's going to happen. That's the name of the game. But if you manage your risk properly, then yeah, you don't have to worry about it. So for example, let's say you took a trade here and you thought it was going to continue down and you got stopped out. Okay, you take your stop, you continue on your path, your journey, and look, your wins, if you would have done the MACD or the break of magenta, your wins will outlast your losses if you follow the strategy. We had our guardrail of green set up here. Once we made this strong momentum candle, I understood there's another stronger selling channel. Therefore, I had to make this blue. Right? Once I'm going to start, you're going to hear me repeat the same thing. Of course, we're going to where? The 5. Come on, it's 2. And look. Look at the range of the blue now. You see how it's pretty much, I mean, except for this right here, but it's keeping inside the blue now. So you have your guardrails. You know where your levels of liquidity. You have your guardrails. It's going to the look. Come on, this is too easy. And how perfect would that head and shoulders be? How perfect would this head and shoulders be right here? Doesn't mean it has to happen, but at least we know if we don't go in here, and if the price gets up here, we have an idea of where to go long, right? Very simple. Once you start seeing this area get taken out on the upside, then you go long. It's very simple. We knew we're going to hit the 20 or the 5. We already knew that. You're still inside the blue now. We identified the stronger algo on this one right here. This momentum candle right here, we identified it's either going to be a fake out or it's showing oh no, it was this one. It was this one right here, sorry. Was it? One of these. I don't remember. But we identified where the blue, we knew it had to be a stronger downward trend starting. Right? Either fake out or stronger downward trend. And then once we got some motion, easy. We knew what was happening. But look, this big green candle, you know, would stop out a lot of people if you're not using these guardrails that I'm setting up, or at least the green. You know, you had the green. So you're in the trade until you break green. Because you still could have had this, right? Oh, and we're at the 5. Look at that. Okay, Sonny, are you still here? I want to show you something. Are you still here, Sonny? Okay, watch this. I'm going to show you what continuation looks like on the MACD. Continuation on the MACD. So you're in your downtrend because you're below, orange is below 0. So you're in your downtrend, okay? Your signal line is below orange. So the downtrend is the current and the signal line is the swimmer. So when the current's pushing down, it's easier for the swimmer to push down, okay? Now, the current is so strong right here that even though the swimmer try to push, it's still below water, below the 0 line, right? So whenever you see a blue line not cross above and go back below, that's continuation to the downside. Do you see it? So I'm going to show you. Boom. Oh wait, okay, I messed that up. Boom. God dang it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, you see this bolt down? Let me highlight it just a little bit more. You see this bolt? I'll change the color. Look at this bolt down in pink. Oh, okay. I don't like that color. Don't like that color either. Hold on, Sonny. God. Okay, orange. You see this bolt? Watch this. So the orange, the MACD line and the signal line were in our downtrend, right? Firm. The current's pushing the swimmer down. The swimmer's getting pushed down and he's swimming downwards, right? And now we get to this flexion point right here on your stochastic, which is also where the weakening of your MACD starts. Flexion. Do you see how the swimmer never got a chance to get above water? Because the swimmer never got a chance to get above water, it's going to be a bolt. It's going to be a flexion down because it never got this. Whenever the blue line doesn't get back above and it crosses below, it's a continuation down. If we're above, hold on. Let's say we were above the zero line and you see how the blue line goes back down inside underneath the water here, underneath the zero line? And then once the current goes underneath the zero line, now we got strength to pull you down. So the current goes below zero, the swimmer already below zero. Now we got strength to pull the swimmer down. Swimmer's getting pulled down, swimmer's getting pulled down. Now the current starts to push him up a little bit. You see the push up? However, swimmer wasn't strong enough to get above water. And this is the flexion point. You see how the peak under your zero line. Now, Sonny, this doesn't work every single time because sometimes the structure can be so thin, and I'll explain to you how that works too. It's not going to work every single time because the structure can be thin, but it's a general rule of thumb and it works a good amount of times and you should be able to get something out of it. Maybe not, 3 point or, 2 full points like this from here to here, but you should be able to get something out of it. Oh shit, I haven't been paying attention. Okay, now we're below the 5, right? Now I'm looking for my shorts. Now is when I'm looking for my shorts. So now I want to start to see, I'm making up these algos now. I'm not going to use the ones I already have because I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm just going to start making up some. So now I want to see oh geez, hold on. Hold on, look at this. Okay, we got a break of the 5, a retest, and a reject of the 5 is what we want to see. So we want to see a break, a retest, and a reject of the 5, wherever that happens. Dang, I wonder if it's gonna recover. Yeah, we need to see a retest and reject of the 5. Oh my goodness. Okay, next key level right here. 535 20. What is it? The 01. Okay, so we're about to hit key level. I'll put a mark on it. All right, we're about to hit key level. Why did I put the line here? Because look at my 30 minute. I have my line right here. Here's my key level right here. At 635.01. So I put 635.01 to know where it should bounce. Look what happened. Look what happened. It bounced right on it. Because I had it here. We have to open up our eyes and take a step back and stop looking. And we need to stop looking so close, candle to candle. We got to zoom out. If you remember, early this morning when we were going through each MACD, I was like, uptrend here. However, I think we were somewhere over here, right? And I was like, look, this thing could easily, only if it breaks this green and continues up, because the 30-minute said we got plenty of room down. Only the 5 and the 1 were saying we still have some room to the upside, but that's when I was telling you about the inception of trading, right? There's always a structure within a structure. So sometimes the bigger structure is going to tell you, we're heading down, but your little structure tells you we're going up, because it's just a pullback in your bigger structure. Whew, okay. Okay, break, retest. Let's see if we reject or if we get back above it and start climbing back up. Is this to take profit? Are they taking profit from liquidity off the 5? And whenever it gets like this, like really choppy and you gotta wait here. You have to wait because it's forming new liquidity levels, right? So you have to see which way it gets taken out. Don't try to call the reversal right here just yet. Wait till the liquidity gets taken out. Confluence, Sonny. Look, it crossed right here. Look when it crossed at this time, right here. On this green candle, it crossed. Down, cross, cross, up. So when you get confluence like that, you get a good idea. You get a good idea of what's going to happen. All right, look right here on the 5-minute. There's a liquidity pocket right here from yesterday. We need to take out the liquidity pocket on this side. We need to take this out if it's going to go down. So on our 1 minute, we want to see a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder for the down. So on our 1 minute, we want to see, and I'm not saying it's going to be a micro one, because this would be like a micro one right here. That'd be like a micro one continuation, a strong downtrend. But they also could look like this, right? They could also build like this, come up here, and then like this. They could be, this is deep structure that I like, right? This is the structure that I like when it does something like this. So this would be like a break, a retest, and then a reject of the 5. But look, if you look at this huge move, look at this big take profit everyone took. If you didn't get in on this, don't get in now trying to FOMO. Wait for the liquidity levels. Wait for liquidity levels. So look, right here, you see this liquidity level right here? So this liquidity got taken out right here, boom, which gave us some strength to at least this level right here, 635.01 or 02. And now we got to take out this level, this lower level here. How do we know when that's going to happen? Because we will see a head and shoulders or a cup and handle form right here. Very simple. Now for me personally, I like deep structure. So yeah, I'd like to see a shoulder and then break above and then back down and then the 5 right here. That'll be absolutely perfect. Break, retest, reject of the 5. That'll be textbook. But see this big move, which I've made this mistake so many times. This huge dump. Look at this big dump. Once you start seeing it, you gotta wait, right? Because it's gonna get really choppy in here. So just let this build liquidity. It'll show you the range of the liquidity, right? So maybe the range will be like here. I'll make it pink. Maybe the liquidity level is going to be here and here, right? So we're stuck in this range at this new liquidity level. So wait for one of them to break. And then just because it breaks, you need to see continuation, right? So you want to see it break above, support, reject. Or ideally, we like to see it break below, right? Which would be the shoulder, or the shoulder ahead, other shoulder.
She worried if I might show. Damn, it's hard to care for his side though. Out here with my mans in a night show. Drinking party, yeah, we keep the lights low. I'm in my mind all the way. Ice cold, what a nigga gotta say. Sipping any, we be mobbing through the night, oh yeah. Moving like we trapping out of bando. I need. Money on me, new city, new bitch, new kid. It's costing the rain on me. I've sipping my tea. I don't mean it, I don't mean it, I don't mean it. Feeling myself, feeling my knees. Feel like repercussions ain't gon' ever kiss me. Heard what I said, and I can't help it. I ain't never gonna rest, never gonna test me, check me. I need, I need, I need, I need, I need. I need, I need, I need, I need, I need. I need you here for me. Don't you fuck around, I know you hurt by me. I need, I need, I need, I need, I need. Okay, yeah, I'm a touchdown in the matrix. Yeah, shawty send me your location. 120 on the freeway speeding. Big check, blue pills, I'm eating. Young boy finna do my thing. Get the FBI, put a case on me. Feel like everything gon' cave on.
All right, we broke above. Now let's see if we get a test and a reject. Now if you're buying the break of this pink on the call, let's see.
Somebody for the night. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me up. Yeah, yeah. Run it up, I'm over. None of y'all niggas, they poppin'. Yeah, I know you do this often. Hey, I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. Hey, I'ma swallow all my pride. Hey, won't be nothing but a side piece. Oh, oh. Catching feelings with my pipe dream. Oh, no. Sighting, she be feeling type of ways. I don't need nobody for the day. I just need somebody for the night. Hey, been there and I never been the same. Yeah. Been there, but I'm not the one to blame. I just need somebody for the night. Yeah. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Yeah. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me up. Yeah, yeah. Ay, run it up, I'm over. Ay, none of y'all niggas, they poppin'. Yeah, I know you do this often. Ay, I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. Ay, I'ma swallow all my pride. Yeah. Won't be nothing but a side piece. Oh, oh. Catching feelings with my pipe dream. Oh, no. Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping what I sow, so for sure. But no, that's just for me and my boy. Be secure, 4x4. G6 sleep off on my hands. I'm no friend, I'm no friend. Pay for keys, can't pay for seconds. In the back when the windows tinted. Yeah, 'cause they know tonight. Yeah, they know tonight. Tryna come take from me. I'ma put it, they on me. They ain't even thought this far. This ain't never partial, yeah. Just like I know. Made room for you. You got me off the top. You had no place to trust. Just like you told. Just like we rolled. Now we would barely trust. Now there's no saving us. Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping
All right, so we see here we had the break, retest, reject of this pink. Easy claps. And the thesis here is that we're going to do this and this and this, right? Remember, since the beginning, we were saying that we're looking for, this is the 5-minute chart I'm using, by the way. I'm going to clean up the chart. Just give me 1 second. Remember, the other thesis was if we're going to do this, this, and this. So was this to take profit? And then we'll see. Remember, that was a thesis. Okay? We'll see if that plays out. And the reason why I thought that was when this stronger blue formed. Once we got this stronger blue channel forming, then I knew something else was happening. You know you're going to meet resistance right here. So if you're not comfortable with fighting the downtrend, then take profit.
Gotta keep them pockets greased up, can't slip. Gotta get my mama's new whip, new crib. Tell your shawty listen from the city, from the sticks. And no matter where I throw it, yeah, she know it's gon' stick. Shawty isn't me, no babe. Shawty isn't me, no, yeah. Isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no.
All right, now we know we got to take out, if we're going to go up, we need to take out this level of liquidity right here. So we need to gain some strength to the upside. Look, you see the purple? Sonny, where are you at? Hold on, let me clean this up. Here, watch this, Sonny. Normally, well, I'm not going to say normally, I don't know, but I'm willing to take a small bet. Appreciate the breakdowns, man. Okay, yeah. Here, really quick. I'm not going to hold you up. Look how we formed the purple. And look, normally this red candle would have stopped everybody out, right? If you went on the break, retest, and then you get stopped out here. But look, as long as you have purple as your guide, look, it doesn't matter what happens. You have to be able to survive inside of these guardrails that I'm building, and then you use this as your stop, not the candle, right? I don't know if I'm trying to make this make sense. So if you go in here, your stop number one has to be below your last low. I recommend wait maybe 3 or 4 minutes before you start moving if it's still inside your range, your movement, if it's still inside here, just wait 3 or 4 minutes before you start moving your stop. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me move my stop. I know where it needs to be. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me move my stop along the purple. You see how easy this is? You can't let one candle scare you out. Because look at the MACD. It's still got some room. You have to let it close. But this is a little confusing because you see, look, this didn't close, but this one closed. Fake out. This is why you need more than one confluence. You see how this one didn't cross, but this one crossed? The stochastic crossed, but the MACD didn't cross. It still has room. We got above the zero. We got above water. It has now the swimmer and the current are going in the same direction. So this has room to go up, which is giving me more confidence in this setup that we have going right here, which is literally happening right in front of our eyes. Boom. Look, you can't make it up. So fake out right here. Boom. All right, Sonny, go. I'm not going to hold you up. Yeah, I know. The selling, it's hard to, when you see those big red candles, you're like, oh no, I just messed up, or I should have took profit then. Start practicing using these guardrails. I'm telling you, your profits are going to maximize. And but you can't be afraid of losses. Losses are going to happen, but your profits will maximize. You will be green if you follow these steps. Okay, Sonny? Sonny, have a good day. You're the best. Love you.
Trying to know me, I can never get it too close. Cause she heard I got it on me. Couldn't pull it up like me. Shit, now she tryna let my fall. Shit, I'm in the booth going ghost. Now they heard I got it on me. Now they hear I got it on me. Said a 4x4 for G6 through this baby shit for me. 100,000, couple M's don't make a G. Pass me in my bag and put that 40 right on my leg. Yeah, know it's how it day. Yeah, shawty, what you think? I'm about to cut up 25 for my lane. I told him my selling is a move it to the bank. Yeah, and you know they're tryna lay down with the man. Way out on the man. Right now I'm on the man. Say that she love me, Christy and they owe me. This is how she think, yeah she think. Say she adore me, Christy in the origin. Fuck with me some more. Baby, ain't more time for you.
Okay, look, you see what I say? We're taking out liquidity here. Remember, I drew this right here. You can't be afraid of these red candles because that's what gives you the strength to continue.